you! I'm sorry I forgot your name, but welcome back to What the Math. Today we're going to be talking about some space news for November 9th to November 16th, and we're also going to be talking about some future videos on our channel on What the Math. Now let's start with the space news first, and there's quite a lot of space news in the news. One of the biggest ones, I guess, is that it's a 1-year anniversary since the arrival of Rosetta mission to the comet. Remember the comet from a year ago when it actually approached it and it tried to land and the Philae lander kind of bounced off and disappeared and then reappeared again? Well, now you can watch the videos recreating the entire landing right here. I'm actually showing it to you right now, and I'm posting the link for this in the description below. And this is based on what they've discovered and what they know about the comet and how basically this lander may have bounced around and how it actually ended up somewhere on the dark side. So do watch this. This is from European Space Agency, and I think this is a pretty cool recreation. And there's also another video I'm going to post basically summarizing the entire mission in a kind of a really cute cartoony way that you can kind of watch and enjoy, and I think it was a pretty brilliant way of summarizing this for those of us who may not know enough about astronomy or may not know enough about this mission, and both of these videos are in the description below. Another really exciting news is that scientists have now officially found another object that's even farther away than Sedna. They don't have a name for it yet, but they know it's most likely a dwarf planet, and it's relatively large as well. So it's there's an article for it from BBC News that says, most distant solar system object spied. It's now known as V774104, and it's maybe anywhere between 500 to 1,000 kilometers in diameter, and it's about 15.5 billion kilometers away from the Sun, which is about 1 billion kilometers farther away than the farthest distance of Sedna. So if there is such an object, and if it's, well, I mean, there is an object that they found, but if this object is a dwarf planet, this will be officially the farthest object, and will most likely be the coldest known object to us for quite some time until we discover a new one. And since there's no official name yet, I propose this one, Marzana. This is the Slavic goddess of winter and death, and I think this pretty much describes this planet because, you know, it's far away, it's deadly, and it's really, really cold. And since the most of the recent dwarf planets were named after female goddesses, and specifically goddesses that are really, really cold, Sedna is named after the Inuit goddess of the Arctic, or Arctic Ocean in this case. I think Marzana works pretty well, so think about this, whoever wants to name these. In other space news that are not really related to any findings, although they kind of are, there's actually a really cool article that I'm posting in the description below that talks about Carl Sagan and how he actually wanted to create an actual video game based on space exploration, where you would basically have certain goals, like for example finding planet Earth, and this would help youngsters or young learners to get interested in astronomy, but also to learn a little bit about our galaxy, universe, and so on and so forth. And he had a really cool sort of a description of how he wanted this game to work, and ironically we have so many games that are just like that today. Like for example, Space Engine is exactly what he describes, and unfortunately it's not very popular, so do play Space Engine if you still haven't, because it's absolutely awesome. Anyway, so you can read about what Carl Sagan was saying in the article in the description below. I'm also posting another article from BBC News that talks about the Star City. It's actually a city for astronauts and for anything to do with space in Russia that really is kind of like its own world. Once you enter it, everything disappears, all the politics disappear, because it's all about space. And the reason why Star City is so important right now is because, well, first of all, Russia is not particularly popular in the world right now, but also because there is just no other city like it in the world, where really all they do is train astronauts to become astronauts, and also try to create new rockets, try to create new cool technologies for space exploration. And of course, just everyone in the world comes to that particular city to essentially practice to be an astronaut. So they have the biggest and the most advanced training facility for astronauts, and it's actually a pretty cool city. If you ever get to visit by any chance, it's a pretty awesome place to be. So read about this city in the description below. And lastly, once again, BBC News, and this time there's an article about how we actually discovered a very similar to Venus planet orbiting around the star near us that just so happens to be ridiculously super ultra hot. And it's a planet that would be really interesting to see from a distance, but it would be so hot that there would be nothing on it. There will be thousands and thousands of degrees Celsius, and it will be absolutely just hot molten lava everywhere. And one of the videos this week, we're going to be exploring this phenomenon. We're going to be taking a look at these super hot planets, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the brightest objects in the universe as well. But this article also talks about some of the new telescopes we're using to discover all of these new worlds, and some of them will actually give us hope that one day we can discover a planet that has Earth-like features that will allow us to land and colonize it as well. And I think that's it for the space news this week. One thing I wanted to mention is that you may notice I'm growing a mustache, and that's because it's Movember month. I'm going to be talking about why Movember is important to me personally in one of the future weekend videos, I think somewhere near the end of the month. But if you are doing the same, please let me know why you are growing the mustache and why it's important in general. Also, as you may have noticed, I started a new series where I'm using a tank game called Armored Warfare, but I'm also going to be using other war games to talk a little bit about history of Cold War, history of wars in general. And if you do, or if you did enjoy this video, please let me know what you thought about it or how I could possibly make it better, because this is something I haven't tried yet, but I do love war games and I do have a tendency to learn and teach a lot about history because I've taught history before. And so if you want to learn more about it, or no, sorry, if you actually do have some suggestions and want to see more of these videos, please leave a comment in the description below telling me what you thought about the video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and this week expect more Kerbal Space Program. We have another history video coming up really soon. Expect more Universe Sandbox 2 and also another tank video possibly, this time talking about yet another tank. Thank you so much guys, and I love you so much, and game you later. Bye bye.